City would call Mr. Peters.
Mr. Peters.
Joe Peters.
Your Honor, would we be able to take a small
Chair to your liking and state your name for the record, please.
Joseph Peters.
Hey, Mr. Peters, hold on for a moment. Ms. Iceland, your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Peters, can you tell the court how you were employed on February 4th, 2014?
I was general manager at McDonald's.
Okay. And is that the McDonald's at 1425 Southwest Avenue in the city of Waukesha?
Yes.
As a manager, what are your duties as a manager there?
To see overall operations of customer service.
Okay. And overseeing the operations and the service there, would that include the patrons and the actual restaurant, the cleanliness and the managing the property?
Yes, the overall atmosphere and cleanliness of the restaurant.
Okay. And on February 4th of 2014, did something unusual occur at your restaurant at approximately 4 p.m.?
Yeah, I was made aware of a altercation in the lobby. I went out to the lobby and witnessed two gentlemen yelling at each other.
Okay.
At which time I tried to tell them to be quiet, otherwise I'd have to call the police.
And how loud did it get, if you can say?
How loud?
Yeah.
Pretty loud.
Were they each yelling?
Yes.
Were they each using profanity?
Yes.
And do you recall any of the terms that they were using?
Not exactly. I came in a little bit later, but I remember some profanity, not the exact termage.
Okay. So they were both using profanity? I'm sorry.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. And at that time, can you tell the court approximately how many people were at the restaurant?
I would say between 12 and 15.
Okay. Prior to this, these two gentlemen getting into an argument, can you tell the court how was the atmosphere in the restaurant at that time?
Fairly quiet. It was late afternoon, so there wasn't much activity at all.
Okay. Did you notice any of your other patrons becoming upset at this altercation that was going on?
There was one lady, I believe she was a witness prior, seemed pretty upset. She was in the general vicinity.
The person, Ms. Torres?
Ms. Torres.
Okay. And did she complain to you, if you recall?
Not that I recall, she didn't. It was just brought to my attention in general, and that's why I came out.
Okay. When you came out, what did you do?
Approached the gentleman and told him they need to settle down, be quiet. The argument continued. You know, I told him, be quiet or I'm gonna have to call the police, and it continued.
Okay.
So.
Now, these two individuals, you've been sitting here throughout the trial, is that correct?
Yes.
And the two individuals that you're referring to is that Mr. LaHote, the defendant, and Mr. Calderon, who has also testified here today?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Do you recall calling the police or someone else calling the police? If you know?
I called the police.
Okay. And when you called the police, did the police arrive?
Yes, they did.
What, if anything, did you see them do?
They took statements.
Okay. And did you tell the court, did you tell the officers what you've told us here today?
Yes.
Do you know whether or not someone provided the officers with a license plate and a vehicle, license plate of the vehicle and a make and model of the
Yes,
vehicle?
I found out Ms. Torres got the license plate number.
Okay. Can you tell the court, did you see anyone throw any punches in this, during this altercation?
I didn't see any punches.
Did you see or hear Mr. Calderon attempting to physically attack Mr. LaHote?
No, I saw no contact, or I didn't see anything like that.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Lote,
Thank you.
Lote, excuse me. Long day. Go ahead, sir.
You had mentioned that you had spoke to me.
To both of you, I'm telling you guys to be quiet.
I don't remember you at all speaking to me.
Got a question?
Yes, that's a question.
Oh,
Evidently,
'cause
my
that sounds like
memory's
a
not
statement.
working correctly, but I don't remember you speaking to me. I do remember at least 2 employees standing there. They were in their uniforms. One was a male, one was a female. Who was it that told you there was a disturbance going on?
I don't remember.
Male or female?
I don't remember.
When you came out, do you remember what was said?
There was just arguing. I don't remember exact words.
Do you have any idea what it was about?
Not at that time.
How many officers responded?
I saw 2.
How many witnesses gave statements?
Objection, well, not objection, the court is going to cut that off. You don't have to answer that question.
Okay.
This is beyond the competence of this witness, and also to what relevance would that have to the event in question? Plus, how does he know who a witness is? So
Well, he
you're
was-
asking for so much speculation and conclusion, I don't know where to start or end. But you're free to ask another relevant question, so
My
please
point,
proceed.
Your Honor, is that there's approximately 10 to 15 witnesses present.
No, there's 10 to 15 patrons in the restaurant, according to the testimony. Whether or not they were witnesses is a conclusion based on your speculation that they may be a witness.
And that's what I'm driving at. I'm wondering how many people out of the
There
15...
may be people in the finance office in the city hall right now or not. I don't know, but you know, they might be there, but I don't know what they're doing. So at this point, I don't know the relevance of that, so you're going to move on.
I'm just wondering how many witnesses were there. I guess is my question. And how many?
How many
of those
witnesses is not
gave a
going to be
statement?
answered because it calls for speculation
Okay.
and a conclusion on the part of the witness. But you have been told that there, you know, were anywhere from 10 to 15, about a dozen. All those answers are roughly in the same ballpark and have been consistent with each other. So we can proceed, but wait a minute. On the record in Mr. Lote's case. And Mr. Lote.
Well, I was just trying to determine how many witnesses there were.
Right, and I said no more questions on that point with this
and
witness.
that's pretty
Go ahead.
much where we left it.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Basically, I don't remember talking to Mr. Peters, is what I'm trying to get at. I wasn't.
Well, you can testify to that, but you're asking him questions now.
I'm just clarifying
Sure.
where I'm trying to go with the witnesses and the whole 9 yards.
Sure.
There's 10 to 15 witnesses, I know that for a fact, who had seen the confrontation from the beginning and know what Mr. Calderon did. And I'm trying to get to those witnesses.
Well, Mr. Calderon has admitted, but as we indicated, you said there's a video. We'll look at that when
That's
the time
basically
comes.
what I'm getting at.
All right, so if you don't have any other questions for Mr. Peters here,
Do you remember me at all, Mr. Peters?
Yes, I remember you from that day.
Do you remember anything I said that day? Anything specific other
Nothing
than
specific. Just the yelling.
Okay. Did you see me talk to anybody?
No,
Did you see me do anything?
no.
Did you see me cause any particular disturbance during the time that I was there?
That will not be answered because of the fact that that calls for a legal conclusion. The word disturbance is ambiguous because of the fact that
It sure
whether or
is,
not
Your
there's
Honor.
a disturbance that,
It
and whether or
sure
not you
is.
were the cause of it, that's asking for speculation.
I can rephrase.
So it's a compound question, and that calls for some speculation. You could ask him if there was a disturbance, and you could certainly ask him if he knows the source of it.
Did you see me videotaping?
No,
Did you see me walking around?
no,
Did you see me eating?
no.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
So I